Brother, let me tell you a story. I'm in the middle of Amsterdam Square with some killers. I'm waiting on Papa to stab them like 60,000 times, bro, and I have the knife myself. I'm ashamed to tell you this, bro. I take off all my jewelry. I'm in the damn square with Penko, and I'm gonna show Penko that he needs to put respect on his name. My brother, this is stupid what I'm telling you, but believe me to God, if Papa shows up here, you will hear the news, and someone will be here to make the video. My brother, I'm not lying when I tell you this. I'm waiting on Papa to fix him. Good. And I'm waiting if he shows, brother, you will hear the news. I make no joke. And I would never send you a voice note like this for no reason. I'm not here to make a comedy show, bro, or a movie, but I'm here to star.
So there you have it. Those were the voice notes that were sent by Jah Cure to one of his associates before he stabbed the promoter. So apparently, as you can hear from the notes, he performed on a show. The promoter did not want to pay him, and he consciously decided that he was gonna use violence as his resort. You know what I mean? If being tricked out of your position is such a thing, there could never be a case more visible as this one, where Jah Cure allowed this man to trick him out of his position. You know what I mean? And so, like, I wouldn't want to be Jah Cure's lawyer for this case. You know, I would basically just say, Jah Cure, let me tell you this. Let's just go to the judge and find out how many years is on the table and how much we can get shaved off. You know what I mean? But we're definitely not going to beat this case with this voice note lurking in the shadows. You know what I mean? How can we go to a judge and tell them that this was self-defense when this voice note basically explains that you premeditated and you waited on this man to arrive on the location so you can inflict wounds on him? As a matter of fact, you even stated that you wanted to stab this man 60 times. And then say that it's self-defense. Because initially when I heard that they were charging Jah Cure for attempted murder, I was like, well, that seems like an overkill, because if two persons are embroiled in some form of beef and there's a fight, there's an altercation, and one person gets the better of the other, that would seem to me like, you know, a manslaughter if the person dies, you know, or self-defense, you know. But when they said attempted murder, I was wondering, is it because he's black? You know, because you know that's a white country. You know, is it that it's an overkill because he's a celebrity? But when I heard this voice note of him saying that he literally waited on the person to arrive to stab him, trust me, like, this is definitely attempted murder. And you're lucky. You are very lucky, Mr. Alcock, that the man survived. Because if he had died, you would definitely be looking at life imprisonment and it would have been over for you. So you're quite fortunate that you only got 6 years. Even for the attempted murder, the 6 years is definitely still a slap on the wrist. In some countries, like for example the United States, you have a voice note like that circulating and you stab this person and you basically admitted that you wanted to stab him as much as 60 times, you could definitely get up to 25 years for something like that. So even though Jah Cure will be forced to spend the next 6 years in jail, it's definitely a win for Jah Cure, because based on what he did and these damning voice notes, he escaped. He escaped scratch-free. 6 years is nothing. Plus, he already has experience behind bars. You know what I mean? So given his experience in being incarcerated, 6 years is an easy thing for Jah Cure to rub off. You know what I mean? Maybe he was missing confinement in the first place. Because you would think that someone who spent some amount of time in jail, you know, would be more conservative, you know what I mean? Would be more open to negotiate situations instead of resorting to violence as the only way to resolve issues, you know what I mean? You would think that someone who was supposedly rehabilitated, you know, would have thought deeper. He clearly had enough time to think it through, the time he was there making the plans to stab the person. He had enough time to think it through while the person was on his way there, while his associates were there. You know what I mean? He could have thought it through. And it seemed like persons were in his presence. But then again, when you have yes men in your corner who will never tell you when you're wrong, who will never tell you that, hey, don't do that, Jah Cure. You know? That's what usually happens, because one of the persons that were there that he was talking to or making reference, they could have easily said, no, Jah Cure, we don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Let's take it to the courts. Let's sue this promoter. But no, they all stood there and allowed this man to inflict near fatal wounds on an next person. And now his career is doomed for the time being. Because this man will bounce back, you know what I mean? The reggae industry, the dancehall industry, you know, they're very forgiving. And so he will bounce back eventually. I'm out.